afternoon we have in store as well. The Women's National League North title race is heating up as we head into the second half of the season, with a place in the Championship up for grabs for the winners. Good afternoon and welcome to Grange Park. It's second against third, or third against second, as Nottingham Forest host Burnley. My name's Matt Jones and I'll be guiding you through full commentary right here on TikTok as the Clarets hope to take another step towards top spot. And what a big step it would be should they manage to beat their hosts. Carly Davis's side gave Burnley a big helping hand in the title race just last week as they beat the current pace setters Newcastle United. So that shows that they won't be any pushovers by any means today, and they will in fact jump above the visitors in the table should they be victorious this afternoon. Well, there are just a few moments to go until kick-off. So let's have a run through of the two starting 11s, because you can see the teams in the tunnel in front of you. And let's start with the hosts, who are of course Nottingham Forest. As I say, they picked up that terrific 2-1 victory at Newcastle last time out, courtesy of goals from Alice Keatley and Neve Reynolds. Two changes for them today. Hayley James and Luann Worsey are the players to drop out. James is involved in the squad at all. Worsey's on the bench. They're replaced by Sophie Domingo and Charlotte Greengrass. So their 11 in full is Batty in goal. Domingo, Harkin, Cowie and Johnson are across the back. The four in midfield are Keatley, Green, Manders and Anderson, with Thomas and Greengrass the two strikers. Greengrass, Charlotte Greengrass, the top scorer so far this season for Nottingham Forest. She's managed to get 8 league goals. As for Burnley, well, they had a big game in the County Cup last week. They hammered Files 6-0 to book a place in the final of that competition. West Didsbury and Chorlton are the team that await them as they look to defend the trophy they won last season. Rebecca Seviuk used that fixture as a real chance to rotate her squad, and she reverts back to an 11 that we're more accustomed with today. 7 changes made from last time out. Dom Cooper, Georgia Marshall, Rima Lord-Mears and Amaya Coleman-Evans are the only players to retain their places from that match. That means Kirsty Lavelle, Naomi Hartley, Tilly Wilkes, Brenna McPartland, Millie Ravening, Laura Elford and Leah Embley all return. Lucy Farrell, Gracie Pryor, Danielle Dehan, Bella Reedford, Lizzie Hamer, Evie Priestley and Ginny Lackey the players to make way. So that means it'll be Lavelle in goal. Cooper, Marshall, Hartley and Wilkes will be across the back. McPartland and Lord-Mears are the two holding midfielders, with Ravening just ahead of them. And then the front three, it is a formidable front three. Amaya and Embley will be either side of Laura Elford. And let's just have a quick look at the substitutes bench for both sides as well. Then Holly Mears is the substitute goalkeeper for our hosts, Nottingham Forest. May Moncaster, Neve Reynolds, Luann Worsey and Ella Hoy are the players that join her. And then on the bench for Burnley, Lucy Farrell is the substitute goalkeeper, with Lizzie Hamer, Ginny Lackey, Gracie Pryor and Bella Reedford. So as you can see, the two teams making their way onto the field. Burnley in their change strip today. Not the traditional claret and blue, instead it is more the yellow and black. Nottingham Forest in their traditional red and white home strip. From the officials today, you can see them in the centre of your screen there. Timothy Darnes is your referee. Kamani Anderson and James Johnson are the two assistants for him this afternoon.
For Nottingham Forest women, congratulations on behalf of all of us. Please show your appreciation for May Doncaster.
So we are at Grange Park there, the home of Long Eaton United Football Club. It's a ground that Burnley may have bad memories of. They went there last year and lost 3-0. Well, they came to Nottingham Forest. They've actually changed ground now, Nottingham Forest, over the course of the summer. So since these two teams last met, but the away fixture last year pretty much put a big dent in Burnley's hopes of winning the title. They lost that one 3-0. Domingo and Moncaster were both on the score sheet for Nottingham Forest that day. That was Burnley's first league defeat of the season last year. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself this afternoon, because of course the Clarets remain unbeaten in the Women's National League. And the title is within their hands now, having seen Newcastle lose last week to Nottingham Forest. If you have a look at the top of the Women's National League table, Newcastle sit in top spot. They're on 31 points. Burnley are in second, but Burnley have played 2 games fewer than Newcastle. Granted, they have 5 points fewer, but win both those games in hand, and of course they would go above Newcastle in the table. And it's not too long before these two teams meet either in the reverse fixture. They drew up at Newcastle earlier in the campaign, and they will meet at the county ground, Burnley's home of course, in just a few weeks' time on the 11th of February. What a massive game that will be in terms of deciding where the title goes this season.
Number 19, Rebecca Anderson. Number 22, Charlotte Greengrass. Number 25, Alice Keatley.
So the formalities just being finished off before we get to kick-off. You can see there that Millie Ravening is wearing the captain's armband for Burnley this afternoon. Lindsay Harkin is the Nottingham Forest skipper. Of course, usually it would be Thea Paul who captains Burnley, but she remains out injured at the moment and is therefore unavailable for selection. So Millie Ravening captaining the side today, having seen Georgia Marshall do it not too long ago in the FA Cup against Birmingham City. Good crowd in at Long Eaton. And I did see on my way down, past a few Burnley fans on the motorway, so great to see the support being offered to the women's team as they continue this promotion push. And we're grateful that you're here to make that journey with us as well. Burnley will get things underway then. Laura Elford kicking things off. A big 90 minutes of football begins in terms of the title race. Embley flicking on to Elford, who can't quite skip past a defender there. Molly Green just stabbing it out of play. Cooper. And giving possession away, and here is Molly Green again playing in the heart of that defence. Harkin, the captain. Batty, who you may remember made some fine saves when these two teams met earlier in the season. Burnley running off 4-2 victors in that one, but it was a much harder game than the scoreline suggests. Burnley taking the lead through Millie Ravening before actually finding themselves 2-1 down. And then 3 goals from Amaya, from McPartland, and another from Ravening, securing the victory on that occasion. Good strength shown there by Cooper, and she manages to win possession of Domingo. Domingo getting back and committing the foul on her opposite number 7. Free kick given Leah Embley's way. Ravening with the ball down the line, but can't quite angle that one towards Embley, so that one runs out of play. Natalie Johnson happily watching that roll across the line, and she'll have a throw for her side. The throw goes to Domingo, but her pass is cut out by McPartland, and Ravening can now stride forward. She hasn't got a great deal of support, but does squeeze the pass to Laura Elford. Elford finds support from Embley. Embley, and that cross takes a deflection off Johnson, and that will be a throw, a corner I should say. A nice early chance for Burnley to get the ball into the box. Looks like it might be Rima Lord-Mears who's going to take this. We've seen Millie Ravening on set pieces at times this season. We've also seen Dom Cooper take a fair few. But it's going to be Rima Lord-Mears who trots across to this near side to deliver the corner. Short it goes from Lovemears, and that's a nice turn from Amaya, who gets a good ball into the back post. Millie Ravening just looping the header onto the roof of the net. Positive sign there though from Burnley, just catching Nottingham Forest off guard a touch with the short corner. It's a neat delivery. Millie Ravening will just wish she was an inch or two higher, and she might have been able to get that one on target. It's Greengrass. Haven't seen a great deal of her in these opening 3 minutes. Naomi Hartley squeezing her off the ball there. It's a foul throw. Possession cheaply given Burnley's way. Abby Cowie there, guilty of the infringement. Lovemears. Tilly Wilkes trying to get it down the line, but Alice Keatley in the way of her. Part Wilkes again goes back towards Hartley. Hartley has the time to turn, find Kirsty Lavelle. I think that might be a first touch for Kirsty Lavelle. There can't have been many occasions when we've got 4 minutes into a game and the ball hasn't been passed back to her this season. Ravening showing a bit too much of it to Johnson. Sends it forward towards Greengrass, looped up in the air by Hartley. Not the best of defensive headers from her, but she's got Tilly Wilkes helping out. Anderson, an ever-present this season for Nottingham Forest. In fact, there are a number of ever-present players in this Nottingham Forest side. They don't change that starting lineup too often, as we've seen 2 changes today. Becky Anderson, Emily Batty, Lindsay Harkin, Natalie Johnson, Holly Manders and Freya Thomas have started every league game so far this season, and May Moncaster's an ever-present as well. It's just that one of her appearances has come off the substitutes bench. But that settled 11 is very much helping Nottingham Forest compete for the title. Maya not quite able to keep that in on the far side. Forest, you might remember, actually won the title last season. Such a successful campaign for them. Going into the final day of the season, the title was still in the balance. Burnley had the slimmest of chances. Nottingham Forest and Wolves were the more likely winners, and it was Nottingham Forest who came out on top in the end. But then they went through to the playoff final. As it was last season, only 1 promotion place. And they lost that playoff final to Watford, so subsequently stayed in the division for this season as Wilkes whips a good ball into the box. Elford competing for it. The keeper goes down, and we are going to see a free kick, or at least a stoppage. I'm not sure it's a free kick actually, because it was the 2 Nottingham Forest that collided with each other, Molly Green and Emily Batty. And it looks like it might be a head injury for Molly Green as well, so that's why play has been stopped. Looks like she's going to be okay to continue, which is good news for all concerned. Looks like we're going to start play again with a drop ball as well, which is immediately collected by Emily Batty. Here's Green. Sidestepping Laura Elford there. And a nice squeeze pass forward to Manders. Now out to Johnson. Johnson with the ball down the line. Is there a little bit too much on that? There just about is. Domingo can't keep it in play. Johnson now with a shooting opportunity on her right foot maybe. scoops that well over the bar. It's a slightly slow start, you might say, to this one. Hasn't really got going yet, but it is the kind of nervy occasion that no team will want to lose. There's Dom Cooper, who might be forced to go back to Kirsty Lavelle. Indeed, she has to. Lavelle pressure being put on her by Greengrass, but that's a composed pass to Georgia Marshall. Marshall finds Cooper. Her pass cut out in midfield by Freya Thomas, who's just playing a little bit deeper than maybe we might have expected. Manders with the pass forward to Greengrass, closed out by Marshall and McPartland, and that's a loose pass by Harkin, which Elford can come away with. Elford there, a heavy touch, carrying the ball out of play. You could just see her thrust her head back in disappointment there. Johnson once more. Green with the ball forward. But Nottingham Forest not able to make any ground at the moment. Manders having to go back into her own half to retrieve that heavy touch. Greengrass and Hartley going for that ball and evading both of them with a little nudge from Hartley. And Meyer with the pass round the corner to Wilkes. Wilkes the long ball for Millie Ravening to chase onto, and she's going to get there after the loose header from Harkin. Ravening trying to get the ball into the box, but can't wrap her foot around it. Couldn't pick out a teammate there. Out to Johnson again then. Seen plenty of the ball at this early stage, the left back, but that was a loose pass, and McPartland offloads to Laura Elford. Elford not much support again, but Leah Embley offering it now. Embley, McPartland with a good ball down the line, back to Elford. Ravening's waiting in the middle, and the cross is cut out by Johnson. Another corner to Burnley then. Another chance to put the ball into the danger zone. It was from that corner early on where they had their only shooting opportunity so far. Millie Ravening putting the header onto the roof of the net. Can Lord Mears deliver again? Brief stoppage in play as she sorts her laces out. And now Lord Mears will deliver as Cooper comes short for her, but it goes deep towards Elford, back towards Embley on the edge of the area. And Wilkes prevents the counter-attack, and now it's with Dom Cooper. Potentially a handball, but Reedford to Elford. Elford can get the shot away, but it is closed down. Now she does manage to keep possession. There was good defensive work there by Becky Anderson in her own area. Lord Mears to Cooper. Cooper will win the throw in there off Domingo. Burnley just enjoying a good couple of minutes here. Ravening, that's a lovely touch to get away from Anderson. Ravening into the middle, lovely low ball as well. And Meyer offloads to McPartland, but a big tackle prevents her from shooting, and now a chance of a counter-attack. Greengrass can't get her pass right. Thankfully for Burnley, possession is quickly won back. Val scoops that up in the air, not the best of clearances from her, but Elford is there to nod it forward under pressure from Holly Manders. we're just going to have a stoppage in play here, actually, because Brenna McPartland is still down injured after that tackle on the edge of the area a few seconds ago, and she's going to need some treatment as well. We don't want to be seeing Brenna McPartland go off the goal-scoring touch that she's been in. Of course, those 2 FA Cup hat-tricks for her this season. 1 league goal, but that 1 league goal was against Nottingham Forest. It was the the one that put Burnley ahead. If I recall correctly, kind of scrambled home from close range. And from there, they didn't look back. So she requires treatment. Let me just tell you, there is one other game in the Women's National League North today, and that is a game that we're very much interested in because Wolves women are involved in it. Wolves currently sit 5th in the table, but they've only played 9 matches so far, so bear in mind that's 3 fewer than Newcastle, it's 2 fewer than Nottingham Forest, and it's 2 fewer than Burnley. Or 1 fewer, I should say, than Burnley. They are playing this afternoon, but currently 0-0 in their game at home to Stoke City. Stoke themselves could do with the points to pull away from the relegation zone. They're in 8th place in the table. There are a number of cup games today as well, actually. The Women's National League Cup. Fylde facing Newcastle in that, which takes Newcastle out of league action today. Also Halifax against Huddersfield. And Sutton Coldfield against Derby County. We'll keep you up to date with the goals from New Bucks Head, where Wolves are facing Stoke. At the moment, as I say, it's 0-0 in that one. And 0-0 in this one as well. Brenna McPartland gingerly walking off the field. Doesn't look particularly comfortable. It would be a blow if she did have to come off. You'd imagine Bella Reedford will be the obvious replacement, and indeed the signal is that she's going to have to go off. Brenna McPartland, she does not look comfortable at all. Just being consoled by Rima Lord Mears and Millie Ravening. And that's not a sight you like to see, is it? So 16 minutes in, and we're going to have to see an enforced change for Burnley. Brenna McPartland, as a result of that heavy tackle on the edge of the penalty area, is the player withdrawn. And that's a big loss for that Burnley midfield, because she's been brilliant in there since joining the club earlier this season. Just a bit of confusion here as to when players going to restart. I think I can hear shouts of not ready in terms of Burnley having a player ready to come on again. So just a little bit of a confusion, but eventually Bella Reedford is going to be allowed to come on. Bella Reedford, one of the players who started against Fylde last week in that 6-0 win. She's got 75 minutes to impress this afternoon. In fact, it'll be a bit more of that, really, won't it? Because of the stoppage in players. Domingo picks up possession on the left-hand side. Marshall putting the tackle in, and the pass was a little bit loose, but so was Leah Embleys, and Nottingham Forest still in possession with Thomas. Thomas goes back to Harkin. Ball in from deep is cut out by Dom Cooper. Johnson with the shot. A fairly tame and simple one there for Kirsty Lavelle to save. It is the first shot on target of the afternoon, though. Forrester trying to create more now as Manders plays the ball towards Greengrass, but it's cut out by Marshall. Elford and Green in a tussle, which Green wins in terms of possession, but she can only put the ball out of play for a throw. First touch there for Bella Reedford. Cooper with the throw to her great mate Millie Raveling. That's a loose header there from Green, and Elford can surge towards goal. Can she find the support of Coleman Evans? She can. Amaya, Cowie in front of her, and players getting back in numbers, but Amaya goes on, tries to knock it back towards Lord Mears, but Thomas was covering, and then Cowie can send it down the line, but only as far as Tilly Wilkes. Reedford turning in field and losing possession though. Just a little bit of a scrappy few passes there. Greengrass closed down. Here's Elford with Ravening making the run. Just delayed it, maybe thinking of the pass or the shot. In the end it got cut out. Manders finds Greengrass, who goes to ground. No foul given, and Anderson with a good ball forward as well towards Domingo. But Lavelle was quickly off their line to smother the danger there. Harkin with the ball down the line, cut out by Naomi Hartley. So 20 minutes in, there or thereabouts, and I think it's fair to say this one hasn't quite burst into life as we hoped it might yet, but there is still plenty of time. Kirsty Lavelle to take the goal kick. Going short to Marshall, closed down immediately by Domingo. We're going to have a carbon copy now, another goal kick for Burnley to take. Nottingham Forest, they've won 6 in a row coming into today. They are in good touch. They had a slightly shaky start to the season, you might say, and of course they were beaten at Burnley. That's one of 3 defeats for them this season, but 6 wins in a row in League and Cup have seen them progress up the table and deeper into other competitions as well. And it's Ravening. Ball forward towards Leah Embley's a handy one, but just a little bit too much on it, and Emily Batty was alert to the danger and quick off her line and quick to bowl the ball out to Johnson as well. Green's ball forward is cut out. Lord Mears just took a couple of touches to get it under control, and that allowed Domingo the chance to come in and nip it away from her. Ball forward by Thomas. Greengrass. Thomas will pick it up again with options in the middle. It's a shot from outside the box, but Lavelle is there at her near post to gather. Might have been caught a little bit off guard by that one, Kirsty Lavelle, perhaps expecting it to be swung in as a cross instead of a shot. She made that look like a fairly comfortable save in the end. Forest have had those 2 shots on target, and they are beginning to exert a little bit of pressure on this Burnley goal. Ollie Green's ball forward. Cooper. Leah Embley, who's forced further back than she would want to be, and gives possession away as well to Domingo. Infield to Manders, but Cooper's there to prod away. Elford and Lord Mears exchanging passes, but Elford was so deep that when Lord Mears played the ball forward, there was no one for it to go to in a Burnley shirt. Anderson to Abby Cowie. Thomas turning away from Bella Reedford. Keatley turning. Domingo's come across to this near side, and that cross into the box takes a deflection. I think it was Cowie trying to whip it in towards maybe Charlotte Greengrass. Nottingham Forest's first corner of the afternoon. Burnley have had a couple. Damage can they do with it? It's a training ground routine with the ball to the edge of the area, and the shot from distance from Green is well charged down. Tilly Wilkes throwing herself in front of that one. You just see Brennan McPartland hobbling around towards the players' tunnel, which is on the far side there as well. Not looking at all comfortable after that injury she picked up. Lord Mears hooks it forward, and Amaya challenges with Cowie. Cowie just nudging her under it there. Good touch by Tilly Wilkes, and a decent pass to Ravening as well, who uses her body well to open up the field. Here's Bella Reedford. Dom Cooper. Back to Georgia Marshall. That pass forward is cut out by Molly Green, who had that shot a few minutes ago. It was charged down. That's with the captain, Lindsay Harkin. Harkin again. Looking for the run of Domingo. Hartley will try and run it out of play until she realises that there's not enough on it. Wilkes down the line. Will pick it up after Amaya's swivelled pass. Keatley into the near post. Marshall's there. And the corner conceded. Greengrass causing problems. As I say, 8 goals for her this season. So another corner. Another chance for Nottingham Forest to maybe use one of those training ground routines. This time it is going to be sent in towards the penalty spot. It's punched clear by Lavelle, who gets a good fist on it, but it's fallen nicely for Harkin to have the shot after Anderson won possession back. Back out now to that far side. Whipped in by Manders. Whipped over the bar. Should be a little bit disappointed, I suspect, with that delivery in the end. Wilkes with Keatley in close attention, so has to go back to Hartley. There's Amaya. Amaya sending it towards Laura Elford, but Green is there to win it ahead of her. Anderson just waiting for the ball to sit down before making the pass, which she did, but she only gifted the ball to Amaya. It's a good touch by Bella Reedford. Johnson, chested down by Becky Anderson. That's a good ball down the line. Keatley coming in field. Anderson again. Her ball is cut out though by Amaya. Molly Green. Green again. Lord Mears cut it out, but it wasn't the best of touches from her. Now Harkin sends it in from deep. Marshall is well positioned to win the header, but Greengrass will bring it down and touch over to Keatley. Except that's going to run away from her. Wilkes can send it forward now. And then the foul committed on Thomas. So fair to say, I think that Nottingham Forest are enjoying the best of the last 5 or so minutes. They've certainly had more of the ball. But what can they do with the free kick from here? It's Holly Manders and Molly Green standing over it. Looks like it will be Manders who will deliver from deep. Sent in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's Greengrass who meets it, but she can't keep her header down. She might feel she could have done more with it there, Charlotte Greengrass. The former Leicester player. Just not quite getting her contact right, maybe not timing her jump right. Burnley can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, can't they? Lord Mears with a good ball out towards Leah Embley, who's got Johnson closing her down, and Johnson making the interception but unable to keep that in play. Crossfield pass there paying dividends for Burnley. Nottingham Forest, though, able to win possession back fairly quickly there. Here's Batty, who hasn't seen a great deal of the ball in truth. Molly Green. Batty to Harkin. Harkin scoops out towards Cowie, who just about keeps that in field. And Hartley with a heavy tackle there on Alice Keatley. Green with the ball forward. Keatley offloads to Cowie, who can cross from here and does send it in towards the middle, but Hartley is there to meet it. And maybe the counter's on for Burnley now with Lord Mears. Ravening over to Embley. Embley back to Ravening, and this is a good chance to get the ball forward. Just stopped for a moment there, Ravening, but still finds Cooper. Cooper with the ball for Embley to chase onto. Johnson, though, will get there first. Batty under pressure from Elford. And Ravening getting a foot on it. Well, it looked to me like Ravening got a foot on it, but the officials have decided it came off a Nottingham Forest player last. And therefore it would be a Burnley throw. Problem was, Leah Embley wasn't aware that Burnley were trying to get the ball to her. Just on her heels a little bit there. Johnson shadowing her out of play. Good turn, plenty of space for Greengrass to do so, and finds Domingo with the pass, and Domingo just trying to offload to Manders there, and you can see the frustration from Manders. It looks like we might have a little stoppage in play here because Kirsty Lavell's got a shoelace that needs tying. I think Naomi Hartley's down as well. She had that heavy tackle, didn't she, a couple of minutes ago, midway through the Burnley half. Actually, looks like there's going to be a little bit of treatment required for Kirsty Lavell. I can tell you it's still Wolves 0, Stoke 0 in that other game in the Women's National League North today. A win for Wolves in that one would see them jump above Liverpool Feds in the table. I mean, they have 3 games in hand on Liverpool Feds as well, who've crept up to 4th place, Liverpool. Wolves will go above them by a point should they win today. So if you are joining us just a little bit late, 33 minutes on the clock, and it's Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 0, as you can see. Burnley not had a great deal by way of chances, I'm afraid. Just the one of them so far, which was the Millie Ravening header from Rima Lord-Mere's corner, which looped onto the roof of the net. At the other end, there have been a couple of saves for Kirsty Lavelle to make. One of them was fairly straightforward, a shot from distance from Natalie Johnson. She saved that one. She also saved a pretty decent strike from Holly Manders that was heading towards the top corner from the edge of the area. Lavelle able to claim that one at her near post. We're going to see a second substitution, I'm afraid, here for Burnley. The injuries are continuing to mount up, and it's Naomi Hartley who's gone off after that heavy contact. Gracie Pryor is the player to replace her. So that's another thing you might have missed if you have joined us slightly late, is that Bella Reedford had to limp off after 15 minutes. Sorry, Bella Reedford came on. It was Brenna McPartland who limped off after 15 minutes. So Burnley now having to make a change in the centre of defence, having also been forced into one in the centre of midfield. Gracie Pryor, a chance for her to come on and impress over the remainder of this game. It says 35 minutes on the clock. Well, I suspect there'll be at least 3 or 4, if not more, added on at the end of this half. Cowie with the throw down the line. Ravening clips it forward for Elford to chase onto, but Green just had a few yards head start on her and got there first. Here's Anderson, cut out by Lord-Meres. Marshall with the ball out of defence. He's met on the halfway line, but Gracie Pryor will pick up the loose ball forward. She can only put it out of play though. Burnley just haven't really managed to get a stranglehold on this match yet. I mean, Nottingham Forest haven't either, but they have been the more dominant force if there has been one. Cowie. Green will play it to her captain Harkin. Harkin will go all the way back to Batty in goal. Domingo with the ball down the line, and as it threatens to run out of play, it's been pulled back, I think, for a free kick in terms of a foul on Domingo. Certainly Molly Green is lining up as if she's got a set play to take, and Nottingham Forest is sending some players forward. Green goes short to Anderson. Anderson's only missed one league game over the last couple of years. Played a key role in that side that won the title last year. Batty sending it out towards Keatley on the right hand side, but wasn't the best of passes and she couldn't really do much with it, but she nearly wins it back there. Greengrass does offload to Thomas. Thomas down the line to Greengrass, who'll try and whip her foot around it but can't keep it in play. Just losing her balance there as she wanted to kick the ball. Good crowd in this afternoon. And as I was saying earlier, was passing a few Burnley fans on the motorway on the way down, so good to see the supporters getting behind the team this afternoon. And that was run straight out of play there by Keatley. Keatley was on the score sheet last week for Nottingham Forest in that win at Newcastle. They went behind very early on in that game, Nottingham Forest, but as Keatley got one back in the first half, and then in the 90th minute, Niamh Reynolds, who's on the bench today, got Forest a very valuable winner, which, as I was saying, kind of breathes new life into the title race, because Newcastle might be 5 points above Burnley in the table, but they've played 2 games more, and the two teams do play each other in 2 or 3 weeks as well. We'll be covering that one live on TikTok for you as Embley bursts forward. She's got Embley or Elford for support, can't squeeze the pass to Elford, and Johnson comes across and puts the ball out of play. Yeah, the 11th of February at the County Ground, that Burnley against Newcastle game. A massive, massive fixture for both sides. 2 o'clock kickoff. Please do join us if you can. If you can't make it, live coverage on TikTok. Embley whips the ball into the near post. Batty is there, and Batty does really well to pounce on that one. And Maya had just come past the near post to see if she could claim possession. The goalkeeper, though, able to get there first. Anderson goes back to Molly Green. Joined the club in August, Molly Green, former Birmingham and Coventry player. Player of, well, who played in the Championship with Manchester United, so plenty of experience in that back line when you consider Lindsay Harkin, her central defensive partner, made her debut for the club way back in 2005. Hasn't spent the entirety of the last 19 years with Nottingham Forest, but certainly a big chunk of it. Nice flick from Cooper. Elford trying to find Millie Ravening, but unable to do so as Thomas gets there first, and a good advantage played as Thomas wiggles away from Ravening. It's Harkin. Thomas once more. Nice pass in towards Manders, who chases onto her own layoff there. Only Manders with Cooper and Embley stopping her from going anywhere, and the referee deciding that it's a free kick in Nottingham Forest's favour. You can see what Dom Cooper makes of that. Not really sure what Dom Cooper could have done differently, to be honest. It's going to be a Forest free kick, though. Basically a corner. Molly Green will take it. Green sends it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, where Johnson gets a head on it, but only flicks it up towards the far side, where Pryor comes away with it. Greengrass, though, tracking her. Tilly Wilkes sends it forward, and Maya couldn't quite get it under control, and that allowed Domingo the chance to nip in and take it away. And here's Thomas. Thomas through the legs of Lord Mears, but then the pass didn't reach its intended destination. Embley now finds Lord Mears. Out to Wilkes. Wilkes with the first time ball, but she can't find Laura Elford with that one, I'm afraid. Tilly Wilkes then. Elford straight back to her. And Maya challenging with that one, but Cowie wins it. Only heads it into the path of Ravening though. Bella Reedford. Cooper. Stepped over by Embley, but Johnson wasn't taken aback by any of those tricks. Embley wins it back though. Into the middle it goes, and it's a good ball for Millie Ravening. And that's the best chance that Burnley have had yet. Millie Ravening will perhaps feel she could have done better with it. She's usually deadly from that kind of position, but just getting the radar wrong. It goes wide of that far post. Good few moments though for Burnley. As the half-time break approaches, they'll feel that maybe they're beginning to get a bit of a foothold in this game. Given that the two shots that Nottingham Forest have had that have been on target have come from outside the box, I would actually suggest that's the best chance either team has had so far in this match. But Forest are looking to change that now as Domingo gets the ball from Keatley's pass. Marshall blocks the cross. And Marshall gets a good foot there to stab it up to Amaya, who completes the clearance out of play and out of the ground, in fact. So into the added time period we go. As I say, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 4 or 5 minutes, given the stoppages that we've had. 2 players for Burnley having to go off injured. Good tackle by Lord Mears, who'll win the throw off Abby Cowie. Cowie on loan from Birmingham. He's already made 13 appearances for Birmingham. Of course, Burnley played just a couple of weeks ago in that heartbreaking FA Cup tie. Millie Ravening taking that game to extra time with a penalty in the 94th minute to make it 1-1, only for Birmingham, who are top of the Championship, to score twice in extra time and progress to the 5th round. Nottingham Forest, by the way, are in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They've had an excellent draw in that one as well. They'll play Everton of the WSL in the 5th round. So a good cup run for them. They'll be hoping that that can complement the good run in the league. Anderson's ball forward finds Domingo. Domingo managing to turn, unload Manders. Manders with the pass to Johnson, who's continued her run from left back. Johnson, into the middle it goes, but it only goes into the side netting. Kirsty Lavelle happy watching that one float out of play. Again, Johnson will probably feel she could have done more with the final ball here. Just skews off the outside of her foot. And out for a goal kick. Out full for Elford, and Elford trying to feed Embley, but Harkin is there to cover. Back to Batty in goal. Ravening wins the header.
What's wrong with that?
I think you can hear what one of the members of the crowd feels of that, and I have to say I'm kind of with him. Didn't look like a foul to me. It looked like a fair header won by Millie Ravening, but Timothy Darnes, our referee, not agreeing. And the free kick goes Nottingham Forest's way. Batty again. Not the best of passes, but Abby Cowie's able to get back to it. Here's Harkin. Wilkes, Ravening. Away from Harkin. Tries the back heel to find Amaya. Hits her standing foot. And that just stops the move in its tracks, really. Greengrass getting away from Wilkes, and that's a nice offload as well to Thomas. And for Reedford to make the challenge. Johnson. Can she find a better ball on this occasion? It's a slid pass to Domingo. Domingo into the middle. It's a good ball. Greengrass misses her kick, but she'll get a second stab at it. Gracie Pryor there to make a vital interception. And now maybe Burnley can turn defence into attack. Laura Elford just holding off until Embley goes on the overlap, but that was telegraphed. It's Dom Cooper. Down the line from her. Green letting that go over her head. Batty. Bit too much on the pass towards Cowie. Now Elford. Ravening making the run, and it's scooped up towards Millie Ravening. There was not a great deal she could do it with the pressure that she was under. Johnson. Back to Johnson from Domingo. Into the middle. But once again cleared by the Burnley defence. It's going to come straight back though. Here's Green. Harkin. Referee just having a check of his watch there as Ravening plays the ball out to Amaya, but couldn't quite get the weight of the pass right. And we must now be very close to that half-time whistle with over 5 minutes of added time already played. It's Pryor. Marshall. Angled pass towards Bella Reedford and Leah Embley, but Johnson gets there first. Holly Manders. Sophie Domingo. Natalie Johnson then. This time a bit of distance and air on the cross. Keatley just skimming off her head and going out of play. Another check on the watch from the referee, and in fact I suspect that might be the end of the action once Lavelle takes a kick. In fact, the half-time whistle has indeed gone. Has it? Not quite. Thought I heard a whistle then. Lavelle to launch forward. And indeed there does go the half-time whistle. You feel we could have saved 30 seconds by just having it when the ball went out of play, but half-time whistle goes, and it's been a really tight game so far, as you'd expect, with third taking on second and with so much at stake, given only one team goes up from this division to the championship, and there is that race for the title. But here's a look at what few chances we have had. Millie Ravening looping that header onto the roof of the net. We've had a couple of shots at the other end as well. This one from Johnson from distance, which was a fairly comfortable save for Kirsty Lavelle. There was one from Holly Manders as well, which she fired straight at Lavelle. But the best of the lot was that effort, we have to say, from Millie Ravening earlier on. Here it is, picked out by Leah Embley, but not able to get the shot on target. And that's how it remains at the break then. No goals as of yet in this one, but a big 45 minutes still to come. and we will be back with full commentary of that second half when it gets underway in 12 or so minutes time. But at the break, it's Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 0.
We're now time to welcome both of the back to the field to start the second half of the 12 your Nottingham Forest. And we also welcome back our visitors, Burnley.
Well, welcome back to our coverage from Grange Park this afternoon, where Burnley women are continuing their promotion push away to Nottingham Forest. It's third against second in the table, and it's as tight as you might expect. 0-0 at the break. Just a couple of shots on target so far for Nottingham Forest, both of them from outside the area. The best chance of the game, though, falling to Millie Ravening and Burnley. Fed in the area by Leah Embley, but she couldn't get her shot on target as it just curled wide of the far post. The two teams making their way back out onto the playing surface, so let me just run you through the lineups as they are now, because we have had a couple of changes for Burnley in that first half due to injury. In fact, you can see the two substitutes in the centre of your picture there, Bella Reedford and Gracie Pryor. So let's start with Nottingham Forest. They are at home after all. Batty is their goalkeeper. They've got a back four of Natalie Johnson on one side and Abby Cowie on the other. Lindsay Harkin and Molly Green are their two central defenders. The midfield is kind of working out with Sophie Domingo on the left-hand side and Alice Keatley on the right, with Holly Manders and Becky Anderson in the middle, and then Charlotte Greengrass and Freya Thomas are the two more advanced players in that side. As for Burnley, well, it's Kirsty Lavelle who's in goal. Tilly Wilkes is at left-back with Dom Cooper on the right. Georgia Marshall is in central defence. Now, she started in central defence alongside Naomi Hartley, but Naomi Hartley had to limp off in that first half. Gracie Pryor replacing her. Unfortunately, also having to limp off injured was Brenna McPartland in that first half. Just 15 minutes until she received a very heavy tackle on the edge of the Nottingham Forest penalty area. She was replaced by Bella Reedford. Rima Lord-Mears is the other central midfielder, or the holding central midfielder, with Millie Ravening just ahead of them. And then the front three for Burnley: Amaya Coleman-Evans, Laura Elford and Leah Embley. So that's how things look. Two changes already made by Burnley, so they haven't got too many options left on their subs bench if they do want to at any point reach onto it. Just Lucy Farrell, Lizzie Hamer and Ginny Lackey on that bench. But Ginny Lackey, we saw her make her first start for the club away at Fylde last week, having made that move on a dual registration from Manchester City. And perhaps she can add some attacking firepower as this game progresses. Whipped in from deep by Manders, but it's met by Wilkes. Cooper will send the ball down the line to Leah Embley, who steps past Manders. Embley trying to squeeze the pass to Reedford, but couldn't do so. Reedford chasing after it now, though. Thomas, though, getting it back to her goalkeeper. Yet to make a save. That's Emily Batty in this game. She has caused plenty of problems in the first game earlier this season, which Burnley did win 4-2. Here's Cowie. Good turn by Keatley, but Gracie Pryor coming over and getting there first. And Maya just forced down the line. It did cross the line, and the assistant's given the throw-in Burnley's way, but the referee does not agree. And therefore it is going to be a Nottingham Forest throw-in. I'm not sure the ball went out of play there, where Abby Cowie actually takes a throw-in. Thankfully it was cut out. Here is Cowie. And Amaya just nudging that out of play. Cowie goes over the head of Thomas, but Greengrass was there to win the throw for her side. Haven't seen a great deal of Charlotte Greengrass in the penalty area yet, and that will please Rebecca Seviuk and her Burnley side given how dangerous she can be. 22 goals last season in all competitions and already 8 to her name this year. And Maya tiptoeing inside and playing the ball down the line for Rima Lord Mears to chase onto, and that's a really good bit of football, but Lord Mears, feeling she could only keep the ball in play by making the pass, gives possession away. Anderson goes back to Green. Thomas wriggles away from 2 players and gets the ball down the line to Cowie as well, with Greengrass free in the middle if she can find her. And here is Charlotte Greengrass. Out to the left-hand side she goes with Natalie Johnson. Green trying to find the angled ball to Domingo. It was cut out. Not a good pass though by Dom Cooper, and the shot will come in from distance. And if that is the extent to which Kirsty Lavelle is tested for the remainder of this game, I think she'll be very happy. Heavy touch by Amaya from Pryor's pass allows Keatley the chance to get back, but Amaya does hold on to it and finds Wilkes. Wilkes does really well to find Reedford. Amaya again. Ravening. Lord Mears may have strayed offside there, so the pass couldn't be made. Instead it comes to Laura Elford in the middle with 3 for company. Trying to turn and find a shot or a pass. Eventually has to go back to Tilly Wilkes. Cooper. Cooper's ball cut out by Johnson. Pryor quickly across, you could see her pace there, winning that foot race against Keatley. Handy player to have in the squad, Gracie Pryor. Haven't seen a great deal of her this side of Christmas, but she's certainly in the heart of that defence towards the back end of 2023, having arrived at the club on that dual registration loan deal. Greengrass turns. Pass though hooked out of play by Keatley. I think she was trying to find Cowie. Unable to do so. Reminder, there's one other game ongoing in the Women's National League this afternoon, and one that very much interests us, given it's Wolves who are in action, and they, although they are a little bit down the table, you would say are still in that title race to an extent. They're playing Stoke. And at the break, Stoke actually led that one 1-0. Murphy getting the goal for the Potters in that one. Here's Domingo feeding Greengrass with Pryor just shepherding her towards the byline, and Lavelle quickly coming off her line to pounce on the possession. Good play there by Gracie Pryor, who came on in that first half after the injury picked up by Naomi Hartley. Elford just ensuring that Batty had to go first time, and along with that, and Reedford wins the initial header. Now it's with Anderson. Molly Green. Natalie Johnson. Holly Manders now. Forced back by Reedford, who isn't giving her a moment's peace there, and well, the pass just about staying in. Thought it might have crept across the line. Johnson though doing well, and that's a lovely ball as well for Domingo, who gets it into the middle, but she couldn't quite angle it towards Keatley. And Lavelle was there again. And Lavelle takes it quickly. I'm not sure Laura Elford is particularly impressed by that, by the the arm movements and the body language there. Ten games played by Burnley so far this season. In the league, that is. 8 victories and 2 draws. Most recent of those wins away at Wolves, which was a vital one, coming from behind to claim a 2-1 victory. Big month coming up next month as well, with 3 home league games in February. Huddersfield and Newcastle among the visitors. It could be that next month defines their title race as Greengrass picks up possession. She offloads it when she could have shot, and Cooper was there to clear away from Domingo, and Elford gets there before Anderson. Elford past one tackle, but Anderson gets back and stops her in her tracks. Here's a head injury or facial injury that's been picked up by Laura Elford, and that means we are going to have another brief stoppage in play. Laura Elford, you can see she's not happy with the tackle she received from Becky Anderson, and Becky Anderson's basically saying, I did nothing wrong, or words to that effect. It's going to be a drop ball to get play back underway after that brief stoppage. Here's Green now. Down the line she goes to Domingo, who steps away from Cooper with a really good touch. Domingo now trying to get past Ravening, but Ravening uses her body well. Harkin with a long ball forward, cut out by Wilkes, but Amaya loses possession to Cowie, and now Keatley can get forward, and Keatley's going to look to get the cross into the box here, and it comes to the near post. Well, it looked a fairly innocuous one initially, but Greengrass just got in front of the defender there and made it awkward for Kirsty Lavelle. I think it might have come off Greengrass last of all as well. Indeed it did. She tried to flick it through her legs and in at the near post, but the angle wasn't there to do so. Not the deepest of clearances, and Ravening couldn't pick possession up either. Thomas winning that acceleration race against Wilson, gets a good ball into the middle. Greengrass was there but couldn't get on the end of it. Now Johnson has it. Burnley just regrouping and getting players back as she's shepherded towards the corner flag by Dom Cooper, and in fact Dom Cooper does really well there. She'll win the goal kick for her side. Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 0 then as we approach the hour mark. Haven't been too many signs of that scoreline changing as Pryor launches that forward for Elford to chase onto. Harkin had a few yards on her and gets there first and plays it back to Batty, who in turn smashes it downfield. Domingo offloads to Green, and Domingo will now come away with it from Reedford. That's a handy ball forward for Keatley to chase onto. Lavelle's off her line and she's gone round Lavelle. Keatley gets the shot away and Nottingham Forest take the lead. As soon as she'd gone round the keeper, she just really needed to get the shot on target before the defenders could get back. And for the second weekend running, Alice Keatley's on the score sheet. And Burnley, like they did in the home game against Nottingham Forest, they're going to have to come from behind if they're going to get a win in this one. It's the long ball forward It takes out Pryor and Wilkes. Lavelle felt she had to come and get something on it. She couldn't do so. And Keatley was really composed there. It's a lovely pass. Perfect weight on it. And once she'd gone past the goalkeeper and then Pryor, she just needed to get the shot on target. And she does just that. It looks like we might be about to see another substitution as well. Burnley already made 2 of them. And if they're going to get back into this game, you do feel that maybe they need to make some kind of sub. And it will be Lizzie Hamer that comes on. For the Clarets, Lizzie Hamer, one of the longest serving players in the team. I think it might have been Leah Embley who's gone off. After that, we are kicked back off by Laura Elford. Looked like a heavy challenge through the back of, I think it might be Amaya on that far side. And she has won a free kick for her side. So half an hour to go then. Can Burnley get back into this game? They haven't had much in terms of shots on target. Well, they haven't had any shots on target yet. It's Bella Reedford who's down. Here's a look at the goal again. The pass is just perfectly weighted. And Keatley was really composed. She got round Kirsty Lavelle. She got round Gracie Pryor. Marshall, Wilkes unable to stop her in her tracks. So back underway. Marshall with the ball forward, which is met by that stubborn Nottingham Forest defence. Forest have won 6 in a row, and they're aiming for a 7th. And if they do hold on to this lead, they will jump above Burnley into 2nd place in the table. It'll be a huge dent to Burnley's title ambitions. Here's Bella Reedford. Back she goes to Kirsty Lavelle. Lavelle out to that far side where Cooper can't bring it under control and just got a little bit ragged for Burnley over the last few minutes. Domingo into Keatley, but Wilkes is there to clear. Greengrass turning. Domingo going on the overload. But Pryor makes the sliding tackle. And Marshall there to make the interception as well. Here is Amaya. Ravening. Hamer, her first touch since her introduction, and she's got a ball that Reedford will have to do a lot of running to get near. Harkin is there to put it out of play instead. Tilly Wilkes. Reedford brings it down, but can't turn away from the goal scorer. Ravening. Lizzie Hamer. Lizzie Hamer eyeing goalry from distance and tipped round the post by Emily Batty. It looked from this angle like it was probably going wide actually. But it's a shot away, and we would like to see more of that from Burnley. They trail this Women's National League North tie 1-0. But they have caused problems with their corners so far in this match, of course. Very early on, Millie Ravening looping that header onto the roof of the net from one of the corners they did have. It was taken back then by Rima Lord Mears. It's going to be Dom Cooper on set-piece duty on this occasion. 6 to aim for in the area. Hamer on the edge of it. Is it goes in and goes out. Not the kind of delivery that Burnley would have been hoping for, I'm afraid. Lord Mears finds Millie Ravening, captain this afternoon. Her pass is aimed for Laura Elford. Elford with the back heel towards Reedford, but Reedford hadn't telegraphed that one, I'm afraid. Just had a bit of an issue there as to who to pass to, really, Laura Elford. Ideally, she'd have been in the middle on the receiving end of any cross that came. See there, Rebecca Seviuk, the Harris manager, offering encouragement to her side.
Well done.
Millie Ravening, Lizzie Hamer. Hamer with the ball to Lord Mears. She just ran down a bit of a blind alley there. Pryor launching it back into the area where Green will meet it. Good pass from her towards Sophie Domingo, who can turn and power forward now. Domingo, she gets past one tackle but not past another. Hamer is there. Anderson now finds Johnson. Batty exchanging passes with Harkin. Johnson again. I think she's possibly handballed it there. Looks like the decision the referee has given, much to the confusement of the crowd on that side of the ground, who, in fact, there's a foul that's been given in Nottingham Forest's favour. I'm not entirely sure what for. Either way, Forest were breaking, and they were disappointed at the play being pulled back. Here's Millie Ravening, turns away from Anderson, plays the ball down the line for Laura Elford to chase onto, and Elford will win a throw for her side. Harkin having to put it out of play. What can Burnley do with this throw? Dom Cooper will take it. She gets it straight back as well before Amaya turns, and Johnson tries to shepherd it out of play and does so successfully. Thomas back to Johnson. Johnson using her right foot to propel that one forward, and Thomas now with a lovely 1-2 with Sophie Domingo. Domingo carrying on her run. Tries to find Greengrass, but Pryor steps across and stops her from getting any further. Lavelle. Good interception by Lizzie Hamer. Lord Mears back to Wilkes. Hamer had continued her run forward and is able to turn, but can't quite squeeze the pass in the direction of Millie Ravening. And Meyer is going to be able to keep that in, but she can't find Coleman Evans, Reedford with her pass. Here's Burnley pressing forward though, and the shot from distance comes in from Lord Mears. Well, I think officially that might go down as their second shot on target, given the one that Hamer had tipped around the post earlier on, but as I'm pretty certain the one from Hamer wasn't going to go in, that is technically the first shot on target that Burnley have had this afternoon. And Emily Batty was able to save that one really comfortably, but she could have some more trouble here because Elford has nudged Harkin off the ball before being stopped by Green. Here's Millie Ravening. Out to Amaya. Amaya with the shot towards the near post, but that flies over. Nice overload pass towards the goal scorer Keatley, but she can't squeeze it towards Thomas. Marshall just trying to nudge her out of play, and Georgia Marshall does really well there. And the referee just having a word with Alice Keatley because she did kick the ball out of play and then kick it away from where Burnley were going to take the goal kick. Certainly Kirsty Lavelle and Georgia Marshall weren't happy with that. Still plenty of time for Burnley to get back into this game. They have shown a few signs over the last couple of minutes that maybe they're offering something from an attacking point of view. But Nottingham Forest are going to be keen to shore up that defence, and they're making their first change of this afternoon as Charlotte Greengrass comes off. Hasn't posed much of a goal threat this afternoon, Charlotte Greengrass, which will please Burnley. But the player who replaces her, Loanne Worsey, does possess a goal threat as well. On a season-long loan deal from Birmingham is Loanne Worsey. She's already got 4 league goals to her name this season. Wilkes turns away from Keatley. Prior to Lavelle, who doesn't have too many choices as to what to do with that ball except smack it forward, and Cowie gets on the end of it. Mander's closed down by Hamer, but receives the return ball, and Domingo now might think of the shot. Instead she tried to pass to Thomas and couldn't squeeze it through. Cowie finds Thomas. Cowie now back to Keatley, who gets it into the middle. Marshall's there. Lord Mears does well to come away with that ahead of Cowie. Ball down the line for Ravening to chase onto. Harkin hoped it would go out of play, but it didn't quite have the energy to do so. And eventually she has to launch it forward. Lord Mears is there to pick it up. Hamer. Laura Elford. Elford with the shot, but I think that just took a little bobble. And it doesn't matter anyway because she was offside.
Nottingham Forest replacing number 22, Charlotte Greengrass. Number 14, Loanne Worsey.
It's a case of lost ball as well at the moment. That one flying over the fence behind the goal. So as we await a new one to be brought on, let me just give you an update from that game between Wolves and Stoke, which Stoke were winning 1-0 at half-time. And that remains the score at the moment as well. But this will be a very good result for Nottingham Forest and a very good result for Newcastle United should it stay as it is. Burnley winning the title would remain in their hands. They are 5 points behind Newcastle with 2 games in hand. That will become 1 game in hand after today. But they do have Newcastle to play in a couple of weeks, so in theory, should Burnley win all their remaining matches, they would win the title. Not convinced that was a free kick, but the referee's given it anyway. And Keatley's going to require some treatment as well. Good to see plenty of young fans in this afternoon and enjoying the occasion. As I say, it is third against second. It is a big game in that promotion race. But Burnley, as things stand, just like they did last season, are heading for their first league defeat of the campaign away to Nottingham Forest. On that occasion it was 3-0. And then a week or so later, Burnley lost 2-1 at home to Wolves. And that defeat to Wolves pretty much ended their hopes of winning the title. On this occasion, it won't end their hopes of winning the title should they lose here today, but it would certainly be a big blow. It would be a boost to Nottingham Forest, who are heading, under Carly Davis, for a 7th straight win. Going to see another substitution before we get back underway. May Moncaster's coming on, so her ever-present record for the season is going to continue. And it is the goal scorer, Alice Keatley, who comes off, scored in the win over Newcastle last week. That was her first goal of the season. Well, she's quickly added a second for the campaign in this game. May Moncaster is a very tidy player in the centre of that midfield. Joined the club from Leicester in 2019. Got herself 7 goals last year, and she's been on the score sheet plentiful this year as well. 3 so far from midfield.
Substitution for Nottingham Forest, place number 25, Alice Keatley. Is number 8 for 101st appearance for Nottingham Forest, will be May Moncaster.
Comes into the box and it's brought down by Loanne Worsey. It's Marshall who scrambles it out of play. The stadium announcer there, fairly certain, said that it was May Moncaster's first appearance for Nottingham Forest women. I'm having to doubt myself and check myself, but it definitely isn't her first appearance for Nottingham Forest women. She's been involved plenty this year. 19th appearance, in fact, across all competitions for her now that she has come on. Clearance may offer some assistance to Burnley as Elford and Amaya chased onto it, having hit Domingo, but Forest were able to get players back and get forward, which is what Worsey is doing now. Oh, the shot coming in from Thomas, but the whistle had already gone for offside. Clock is certainly ticking away now, though. 13.5 minutes to go, plus whatever might be added on. We suspect there will be a decent chunk of added time. Perhaps not as much as 6.5 we saw in the first half. But whatever time is left, Burnley have to try and get something out of this game. Here's Johnson. Marshall got there first, and the foul was committed on Georgia Marshall, although the referee just taking a moment to see where her ball forward ended up before deciding to blow his whistle. Moment there, Georgia Marshall thought about taking it herself, but instead I think she is going to leave it to Kirsty Lavelle, but Kirsty Lavelle's down injured. Not for the first time this afternoon. Burnley are going to use this as a chance for Rebecca Seviuk to get a few words of encouragement and advice into her team over these final few moments as they look for one final push in this game. Remember, they are unbeaten in the league this season, Burnley. They haven't lost in the league since that game against Wolves. Played at Darwin FC last year. They have won 10 of their last 11 games, or last 12 games in all competitions. One draw and one defeat in there. The defeat, of course, to Birmingham in the FA Cup. Expected defeat if you go on league positions, but certainly Burnley gave Birmingham a good run for their money that day. Looks like Burnley have made another sub with Dom Cooper there. You can see sitting on the bench, just going out of shot for a moment or two. And indeed, Ginny Lackey has come on for Burnley women. So an attacking substitution made by Rebecca Seviuk. She knows the importance of these final 12 minutes. And that is the final outfield substitution that Burnley will be making this afternoon. But Ginny Lackey, who made her first start last week against Fylde, having joined on a dual registration deal from Manchester City, is on. And let's see what she can do in these final 11 minutes. At the moment, it's Nottingham Forest who are in possession. Worsey goes back to Green, who switches the play to Cowie. Wilkes cuts out Cowie's pass. Moncaster was there trying to get something out of it, and I suppose getting a throw in an attacking position is something out of it. Cowie away from Lord Mears. Back down the line to Moncaster. May Moncaster whips it in. Met by Georgia Marshall, who concedes the corner. So what can Nottingham Forest do with this corner? They haven't had too many of them. I think it may be only their second corner of the afternoon. Sent in towards Kirsty Lavelle, who gets a good fist on it to punch clear. Brought down by Johnson, though, inside the area. Whipped back in. Pryor is there to intercept. And then Harkin scrambles it out and into the car park. After a new ball is delivered to Kirsty Lavelle in her 6-yard box, she will be able to send this as far forward as possible. Lackey with her first touch, but only heading it towards Sophie Domingo. Domingo over to Johnson. Johnson gets it forward to Loanne Worsey. Thomas, Domingo into the area. Sophie Domingo with, well, the pass was on there to the edge of the area where Moncaster was waiting, but she shot and it got blocked. Marshall, though, now putting it out for another corner to Nottingham Forest, and this is exactly as they would have wanted this game to end. Still 8 minutes plus added time to go, but Burnley just cannot break out of their own half at the moment. Corner goes short to Thomas. Thomas plays it back to Green. Green will send it in from deep. It's a dangerous ball. It's flicked on. Came off a Burnley head. It might have been allowed to run out for a corner. Sent back into the middle by Manders, but Lavelle was there. Lavelle bowls it out for Millie Ravening. Can she produce a moment of magic that we know she's capable of? Laura Elford, Lackey. And the offside flag goes up. Perhaps against Lizzie Hamer. Doesn't really matter though, because that move is stopped in its tracks. Nottingham Forest are running the clock down as you might expect them to in this situation. Flicked on by Moncaster. Lord Mears, who's now playing a little bit further back than she has been, sends it to Lavelle in goal. Meyer. Marshall down the line. Burnley just cannot get their foot on the ball in an attacking sense, can they? And they are running out of time here. Looked like a foul throw. And the referee agrees. Not the first time this afternoon. Natalie Johnson, the offender on this occasion, and Burnley now do have a chance presented to them. Georgia Marshall will take the throw. She's got Lackey down the line. And Lackey now coming short, but she goes over Lackey towards Ravening and Elford. And Green is forced to put it out for another throw. Remember, Burnley, they go to the end. We saw that a couple of weeks ago against Birmingham when they scored that 94th minute equaliser. Long throw in from Marshall. Headed up in the air, but Amaya gets there and loops it back in towards Ginny Lackey. Can't really get a telling contribution on it, but Lizzie Hamer will pick it up. Hamer. Back to Wilkes. Wilkes feigned the pass back before crossing into the middle, but it's not a good cross and it's cleared, with Thomas, the second Nottingham Forest player, to get a touch on it. And now May Moncaster is surging forward, and May Moncaster could put this game to bed now. Wilkes has got back. She plays the pass though, Moncaster, and Lavelle is there. Couldn't find Thomas on that occasion. Hamer. Lackey scrambles her way past Anderson. Not a good pass though by Lackey to Elford, but it doesn't matter because Green has put it out for another throw. And this game, just over the last 90 seconds or so, has become really stretched. Elford goes under her foot, but Burnley still have possession. Here's Amaya twisting and turning as she can, and she turns away from one tackle but can't squeeze the pass through to Elford. Worsey exchanging the 1-2 with Thomas. Moncaster, who rejected that shooting opportunity before, could have put the game to bed. Hamer gets on the end of Cowie's throw. Lord Mears. Angled ball for Laura Elford to chase onto. Harkin does get there first though and gets it back to her goalkeeper. Cowie can't keep that in though. Millie Ravening to take the throw. Lord Mears just running down a blind alley there. Good tackle by Gracie Pryor though. Pryor. Lackey. Just rolls under her foot there. She missed her touch, maybe took her eye off the ball for a moment, Ginny Lackey, and that's allowed Nottingham Forest the chance to attack. But Bella Reeford makes the interception on Manders. Now it's Cowie. Ball down the line from her towards Moncaster, but too much on that. Lavelle will sprint off her line to try and keep play going as quickly as possible. 2.5 minutes plus added time to go. Elford can't keep it in play. The Burnley bench want a throw or a free kick. Not going to get it though. Lindsay Harkin there, somewhat necessarily coming over and having a few words with Laura Elford, and the referee just telling them both to calm down. Still Wolves 0, Stoke 1, by the way. In that game at Telford's ground. Still, as well, the referee speaking to Laura Elford and in fact calling the captain Millie Ravening over as well.
Come on, ref, let's finish the game, man.
Eventually, play is going to get back underway. About a minute taken off the clock there, which Nottingham Forest will be absolutely delighted with. Manders smashing it infield. Domingo bringing it down, but Marshall is there. Her loose pass doesn't find Amaya. Domingo has it again, and Domingo's into the area. Can she get the shot away, Sophie Domingo? It's going to be a cross instead if she keeps it in play. Marshall just halting her momentum there. Johnson with the crossing opportunity. It comes into the near post where Wilkes heads it clear.
Get it in!
It's going to fall, is it, for Worsey? Worsey with the offload now to Moncaster. Clipped into the middle. Domingo brings it down. Lavelle is there. And Lavelle quick to get rid, but can't find a Burnley teammate. Neither team has really, in truth, found their attacking flow in this game. There have been very few chances, but on the balance of them, you would say that Nottingham Forest have had the best of those opportunities and probably decent value for their 1-0 lead at the moment. Can Burnley change that though? They're going to have a goal kick now, which they need to get forward quickly. We don't know how long has been added on. Will be a decent chunk again as Ravening flicks that on towards Lackey, and then the clearance from Harkin hits Lackey and goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw-in. Did look like Harkin came through the back of Laura Elford there, and Abby Cowie's going to buy herself a yellow card because she didn't retreat quick enough. We are potentially moments away from Burnley's unbeaten league season coming to an end. Have a chance here to get the ball into the box. Wilkes and Lord Mears potential takers of this free kick. Well, it's going to be Tilly Wilkes, isn't it? Because Lord Mears is ambling away. 6 players on the edge of the area for Burnley. Plenty of height in there as well with the likes of Elford, Ravening, Gracie Pryor as well. It's a low ball, not the best of contacts, I'm afraid. And Forest are able to clear, and more than clear, they're able to attack now as well as Moncaster launches that forward towards Manders, but Lavelle is off her line quickly. Lizzie Hamer nods it back forward. Lord Mears. Bella Reedford wasn't expecting the pass there. fact, it was Georgia Marshall. And that's Bella Reeford who can't cut that ball out, but there's an offside flag that's gone up, and that is another instance of a Nottingham Forest player kicking a ball away once the whistle had gone, but thankfully for her, it went straight to Kirsty Lavelle, so no need for the referee to issue a card. Lavelle straight to Luann Worsey there. Pryor. Elford finds Lackey. Lackey thought about the shot, instead makes the pass. Here's Lizzie Hamer. Can she create something here, Lizzie Hamer? In it comes, but it's cleared at the near post. Lord Mears. Her angle pass is cut out. And Moncaster will come away with it now until Wilkes makes the interception. And Wilkes does really well there, Tilly Wilkes. Worsey gets back and makes a big tackle as well. Seconds remain, you feel. Lavelle. Wilkes. Burnley just cannot fashion that opening, can they? Here's Leah Embley. Rima Lord Mears does come away with it in the end. No angle on the pass towards Amaya. And the referee takes a look at his watch as Pryor heads it up in the air. 4 minutes of added time have elapsed. How much longer can there be? Maybe another 60 seconds at most as Forest look to put the game to bed. They're driving through midfield. Here's May Moncaster. Will she shoot this time? She's got Wilkes in front of her. She does clip the shots, and what a finish that is! And that does put the game to bed. May Moncaster on as a second half substitute. Somehow from that angle managing to clip the ball into the back of the net. That is a quite fabulous finish. Kirsty Lavelle may feel that she shouldn't have been beaten from that kind of angle, but the dip that Moncaster got on the ball was quite fantastic. And that, I'm afraid, from a Burnley point of view, is game over. And their unbeaten run in the league this season is going to come to an end. Nottingham Forest are going to move above them in the table as well. Moncaster, she could have shot there, but took it wide and then flicked it over Tilly Wilkes. Only she will know if she actually meant the shot or if it was supposed to be a cross. Judging by the look to see where the goalkeeper was, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and think it was a shot. And over Lavelle it went. Nottingham Forest, well, it's unassailable now. A 2-0 lead. It might not be 2-0 for longer, because here's Laura Elford. Straight out to Emily Batty. That is the best chance that Burnley have had in that second half, but they couldn't do any more with it. Emily Batty has had a fairly comfortable game in the Nottingham Forest goal, and suggests her clearance here might be the last touch of it. Play still goes on. Free kick given away by Millie Ravening for a foul on Thomas. Sorry, Manders. I can tell you that Wolves have scored a 95th minute equaliser in their game against Stoke, so they got a 1-1 draw. Wilson getting the goal for them. That's the only other game in the Women's National League today. And this one is going to be heading for a home victory as Anderson turns away from Lackey. Here's Lord Mears, scoops it forward. Elford trying to nod on towards Amaya. But there to smash it out of play is Green. And still we play on. 7 minutes of added time have now elapsed. Don't recall there being that many stoppages in the game. Lord Mears in towards Elford. Or Lackey even. Lackey brings it down. Can she get the shot away? She can. She's pulled one back as Ginny Lackey. Her first start for the club last week, and now a goal this afternoon as well for Ginny Lackey. Somehow squeezing that in at the near post. It's a clever looped ball in towards her. She misses her touch initially, but Johnson, not being able to bring it under control, allowed her the chance to just squeeze it home. But it does prove to be the last action of the game, because the final whistle goes at Grange Park. And it is a big blow for Burnley in their ambitions of getting promoted to the Championship. Nottingham Forest doing their damage after the break. It was a really tight game in truth. There weren't that many chances, but they took the lead when Alice Keatley was able to round Kirsty Lavelle and fire into the empty net with what was a really tidy finish. They then doubled their lead when May Moncaster made it 2-0, chipping home from inside the area. Here is that goal, the first one. Lovely weighted pass, round the keeper she goes, and then into the back of the net from a central position. So that made it 1-0. Alice Keatley, her second goal in as many games. For Burnley, they needed to hit back, but they just couldn't fashion the chances they needed to, really. They did have one or two shooting opportunities. Rima Lord-Mears here with the best of them. That was easy and on target. Emily Batty saving. But here is the second goal that put the game to bed. May Moncaster managing to clip the ball up and down in time to float it in at the far post and hand Nottingham Forest that 2-0 lead. Deep into added time, Burnley able to pull one back when substitute Ginny Lackey made it 2-1. But it was all a little bit too little and too late as Burnley lose for the first time in the league this season. They dropped to third in the table as well. But there is still plenty of time for them to continue their promotion push, and as I say, they've got a massive game in a few weeks' time. We would love to see as many of you down at the county ground as possible on February the 11th. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff against league leaders Newcastle, and if Burnley do win that, then winning the title remains in their hands because of the games in hand that they have on the teams above them in the table. So that is all for our coverage this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back on the 11th with full coverage and commentary of the game against Newcastle if you cannot make it. But thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and just a shame that we couldn't bring you a victory. Full time, Nottingham Forest 2, Burnley 1.